Okay, so some stories, they're not about the highlight reel. They're not about fame or climbing some ladder to success. Nah. Some of the most important stories, the ones that really stick with you, they start in the quiet places. They start after you've hit absolute rock bottom. This is one of those stories. It's about finding a lifeline in the last place on earth you'd ever think to look. It's proof that sometimes healing doesn't follow any script at all.
So let's talk about Daniel Bates. Now, you might know him by other names, like the artist DLB or the filmmaker Dante East. But this dive isn't really about his resume. It's about his journey back from a silence so profound you could almost call it a creative death, and how, of all things, a K-pop group just completely, unexpectedly pulled him out of the darkness.
To really get this, we have to go back. You have to understand the headspace he was in. From the outside, he had this history in the industry, he'd seen success. But inside, it was a whole different story. He was wrestling with this immense grief for someone named Mercy, and on top of that, dealing with bipolar disorder and depression. The artist inside him, that guy'd gone quiet a long, long time ago.
And we need to be clear about what creative silence really means. For an artist, this isn't just a case of writer's block. This is the well running bone dry. It's losing that inner voice, that spark that makes you you. For someone who creates for a living, that's not just a setback. It's a fundamental loss of your own identity.
And this wasn't just about being sad. He talks about being emotionally numb, a complete and total disconnect from feeling, anything. It was this void that no amount of success, past or future, could even make a dent in. He was just checked out, gone.
I mean, just let that sink in for a second. That's a chillingly honest way to put it. This quote just perfectly captures the sheer depth of his despair. He wasn't just struggling, he was basically existing in this state of living death, completely detached from himself, from the world, from everything.
So you have to ask, how do you even begin to come back from a place like that? For Daniel, the big turning point wasn't some grand intervention or a dramatic movie moment. Nope. It was the most modern 21st century form of serendipity you can imagine. Just a random video that popped up in his social media feed.
And you can literally trace the chain reaction here. It all started with this one little spark, a TikTok of a Japanese rapper named Coconut from the group XG. That one clip sent him down the classic YouTube rabbit hole. You know how it is, just consuming content. And then he found Twice. And that, right there, is when everything started to change.
So what started as just simple curiosity quickly morphed into something way deeper, something almost therapeutic. This wasn't just about finding a new band to put on a playlist, it was about finding a frequency that could actually cut through all the static in his head.
The contrast is it's night and day. He talks about their lightness, their laughter, their genuine humanity, becoming his refuge and his medicine. In a world that felt totally gray and muted to him, their joy was just this explosion of pure, unapologetic color. It was like this little pocket of life that he could retreat into.
And this is the moment, a single musical element in a single song. For him, that beat drop wasn't just a sound. He describes it like an emotional defibrillator. It just completely bypassed his brain and shocked his soul back online. It was the very first flicker of feeling after years of total numbness.
He uses this incredible phrase, emotional architecture, to describe what they did for him. And here's the crazy part. As a veteran of the Western music industry, he found that the super polished, seemingly manufactured world of K-pop actually felt more real, more sincere than anything he'd experienced in years. And that sincerity, that became the blueprint for him to start rebuilding himself.
So just watching their content online wasn't enough. He describes this deep, almost spiritual yearning to experience that energy in person. This wasn't just a fan wanting to go to a show. For him, it was a pilgrimage. He felt this pull, like he needed to be where that life force was coming from.
And he didn't just go to one show. He went to 3 all over the globe. And each concert wasn't just another tour date. It was a distinct milestone in his healing. He said it was like they were stitching his soul back together, one piece at a time, one city at a time.
At that very first show in Arlington, Texas, he said he felt this electric pull. He finally got what people meant when they talked about the iconic, almost spiritual impact of someone like Michael Jackson. It was this profound sense of belonging, of being seen and loved in a crowd of thousands of strangers. It was a homecoming.
So what happens next? After you've been stitched back together, this is where the story comes full circle. This profound healing didn't just make him feel better, it ignited a total creative rebirth.
And he's very specific. He doesn't call it a comeback. He calls it a resurrection. The silence was finally, officially broken. His artistic identities, DLB and Dante East, they came roaring back to life. But it was different this time. It wasn't just about creating for the sake of it. It was about creating with a brand new mission, to build a legacy, to pass on that exact same feeling that saved him.
This is from a message he sent directly to the group, and man, it just perfectly captures the entire journey, doesn't it? It wasn't just about repairing something that was broken. It was about a total transformation, a fundamental restart. He was given a whole new rhythm for his life.
Ultimately, Daniel's story leaves us with this one central question. It's a powerful reminder that inspiration, that healing, that spark of life can come from the most random, unexpected places. So it makes you think, what's that thing in your life? That unexpected music or art or person or connection that didn't just entertain you but actually gave you a new beat? What's your twice?